As we continue with our theme of serving, I want to share with you from Galatians chapter 5, verses 13 and 14. Paul writes, "For you were called to freedom, brothers and sisters, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for self-indulgence, but through love become slaves to one another. For the whole law is summed up in a single commandment: you shall love your neighbor as yourself." It's interesting that when you hear Paul write about freedom, he writes about it not in a way that many people think about freedom, at least in America today. Many people think about freedom as the ability for me to do whatever I want, regardless of the consequences, for myself or for anybody else. And that's not how Paul writes about freedom. It's not how Christian freedom is seen or to be exercised. Paul says your freedom is not to be used for self-indulgence, just to gratify whatever it is you want, regardless of the impact on other people or on society or even on God's creation itself. You are to use your freedom for godly purposes. And we do that through love by becoming slaves to one another. We, in other words, give up our freedom or channel our freedom not for our own benefit, but for the benefit of others. Because as Paul says, the whole law is summed up in that single commandment: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. That's how you and I are to use our freedom, to love our neighbors, to help other people. And that's the fulfilling, in a sense, of the law. So as you look at your own life this day, and as you reflect on freedom and how will you use the freedom that you are blessed to have where you live, think of it in terms of not so much what you can do for yourself, but what can you do for others. Some of us can remember President Kennedy, John F. Kennedy from Massachusetts, in his inaugural address. And what did he ask? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And this was a call to use your freedom in service for the larger good. And that is what Christians do, and that's what Paul is encouraging you and I to do. To use our freedom to serve and bless and to share God's love. So as you go about this day today, I encourage you to keep your eyes and ears open. How can you serve someone else with love? How can you use the time, the opportunity, the freedom that you have today to be a blessing to somebody else, to help them on their journey, to encourage them so that they know they're not alone and there is somebody there who cares, even if that's just for a few moments.